Let's be real for a second. Have you ever been in a meeting or even at the dinner table and just thought, am I the only one who gets it? Well, today we are diving deep into Thomas Erikson's incredible book, Surrounded by Idiots. And this isn't just about figuring out why people are so weird. It's about cracking the code to actually connect with them.
I mean, it's a universal feeling, isn't it? That moment of pure frustration when you explain something perfectly clearly, but the other person hears something totally different. You're just left there thinking, are we even speaking the same language?
Now this quote, this isn't just a hypothetical. The author tells this amazing story about a CEO, a guy named Stuart, who truly deeply believed this. He'd built a super successful company from nothing, but he was 100% convinced that every single person who worked for him was a complete and utter idiot. It got so wild that his team literally installed a traffic light system outside their office. Seriously, a red light meant Stuart was in a rage and you should stay away, and green meant it was safe to approach. Can you even imagine that?
So the author is interviewing him, and he asks this one sly, perfect question. Who hired all these idiots? Well, Stuart, who of course had hired almost everyone himself, completely lost it. He kicked Erikson right out of his office. But that little question, that planted the seed for this entire idea.
And that leads us to the big aha moment of the book. What if the problem isn't that everyone else is an idiot? What if the problem is that we are all, without even realizing it, breaking the #1 rule of effective communication?
This right here, this is the whole game. It's not about how brilliantly you say something, it's about how the other person receives it. The responsibility, the actual burden of making sure you're understood is on you. You're the one who has to adjust.
Think of it like this. You send out your message, right? But before it gets to the other person's brain, it has to pass through their own personal filter. And that filter is made up of everything. Their values, their biases, their life experiences. By the time your words come out the other side, they can be totally different from what you meant.
Okay, so if every single person has a different filter, how on earth are we supposed to get our message through? Well, this is where Erikson gives us this brilliant, simple tool. It's a 4-color system for understanding the basic types of human behavior.
Let's meet the team. You've got red, who is all about results and getting stuff done. Then there's yellow, who's motivated by people and having influence. Next is green, who craves stability and harmony. And finally, blue, who needs accuracy and logic to function. Each color sees the world through a completely different lens.
All right, let's turn this into a practical field guide, because once you learn to spot these colors, you'll start seeing them absolutely everywhere.
First up, the reds. You know these people. They're the born leaders, super ambitious, decisive, and they cannot stand small talk. They want the bottom line, and they want it now. That CEO, Stuart, textbook red. If you're talking to a red, just get straight to the point. No fluff. And then you have the yellows. They are the sunshine in a room. They're optimistic, incredibly social, and they just bubble with new ideas. Their energy is totally contagious, and they love to talk. If you want to connect with a yellow, just let them brainstorm and share their vision.
And here's a really key difference between those two. A red personality is laser-focused on the what, the task, the goal, the finish line. A yellow personality, on the other hand, is all about the who, the team, the vibe, the relationships.
Next, we have the greens, which is actually the most common type. These are the rocks of any group. They're calm, reliable, and incredibly supportive. Greens value harmony more than anything, which means they really hate conflict and surprises. With a green, you need to be patient, supportive, and give them time to adjust.
And finally, the blues, the perfectionists. They are analytical, methodical, and they need every single piece of data before they'll make a decision. Blues don't run on feelings, they run on facts. If you want to persuade a blue, you better come with your homework done and all the details ready. You can also see a pretty clear split in their energy levels. Reds and yellows are your fast-paced, extroverted types. They leap before they look. Greens and blues are more deliberate and introverted. They need to think everything through before they take a single step.
Now, here is a super important point. This is not about shoving people into boxes. Nobody on Earth is 100% one color. The reality is so much more interesting and, well, colorful than that.
In fact, check this out. The book says only about 5% of people are dominated by just one color. A whopping 80% of us are a strong mix of two. So you're not just a green, you might be a green-blue or a green-yellow. That unique blend is what makes you, you.
And that's really what this is all about.
The point of this system isn't to get a new way to call someone an idiot. It's a tool for empathy. It's a key to unlock better conversations. By understanding someone's colors, you can finally start speaking their language.
So I'll leave you with the challenge. Think about the most important people in your life, your partner, your kids, your boss. What color do you think they lead with? And more importantly, what's one small change you could make in how you communicate that might just change everything?